it's me, CaseyQuesadilla again, and today I wanted to talk about something a little bit different than what I usually talk about. And there's a few things that I kind of want to attribute to this. But the very first thing that I really want to share with you guys is that I have lost 80 pounds so far on the regimen that I have been given by my doctor with the medication that I'm taking. It's helped curb my appetite. It's helped me stay more active to where I don't lose, energy halfway through my day anymore, and things like that. So it's been really cool. And the second thing is just that with meal planning and everything, I haven't been eating as much as I usually did to get full. Because, sometimes when you're eating, you eat till you're full, which is what you're supposed to. Let me say that differently. You're supposed to eat till you're done. Like, your body tells you you're done. What I would do very often is that if I still had stuff on my plate, I was just like, well, I need to eat this because it's going to go to waste if I don't. So I would just eat it anyways. And, now that I've gotten older and I've gotten more used to the portion sizes that I can control, I wound up, doing it this way to where I'm like, okay, well, I don't need to do this. I can eat this, or, changing it up, everything. Anyways. But yeah, I've lost 80 pounds. That's what I wanted to tell you guys. I'm so excited. I'm so happy with myself. I'm so proud of myself. And it's just something that I never thought personally that I would be able to do on my own, and I wasn't 100% on my own. Like, my mom and my dad helped me, my doctors were helping me, and everything like that. So I had help along the way, but in the end, to the mindset to get to that point was all me, because I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what? I do need to be more active. My dad's right. My mom's right. My doctor's right. Like, I need to be more active. I need to be more me. Like, I don't want to be taking medication for the rest of my life. I don't want to do that, And there's certain things that I know that I'm probably gonna have to take medication for a substantial amount of time, like anxiety and depression, probably. In which, if I have to, that's okay. Like, it helps control my anxiety, it helps control my depression, where I don't just sit there and lay there and just like, all right, this is my life now, And so, anyways, another thing that I really wanted to talk about was divine intervention, and it kind of happened to me, like, it's happened to me several times. I'm not going to go into huge, because I tried to record this just a few minutes ago, and it was 10 minutes me talking about one experience, and I was just like, yeah, I can't do that. Divine intervention, in my opinion, is when something that's not just your instinct, is basically like, there's a voice that you hear sometimes. Sometimes it's something that you hear, sometimes it's something that you feel. Me, it's something that I usually hear. And in that instance, first one was when my brakes went out in my car, and, something told me to brake sooner than I should have, and I did, and it made me realize my brakes were out. It helped me to stay calm in the situation and use my emergency brake instead of freaking out and hitting somebody in the process of trying to stop and everything like that. So it was really cool. It was terrifying in the moment, don't get me wrong, but it was cool to have that happen. And for a long time after that, I was just like, it was just me. Like, I knew, like, Dad and I make jokes about that all the time. Like, when we're watching a movie and someone's brakes go out, like, there's a hand crank brake or one that you put your foot on other than the brake that's in the car. Because your emergency brake is, we're not getting into that. Anyways. So, I was just like, and then my dad kind of looked at me. He was just like, as much as I know that you pay attention to things that I say, I do also know you as a person, and I'm pretty sure, and he was just like, I don't mean to be rude or mean to you or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure you would have panicked had it not been for something in your mind telling you to slow down. And I was just like, you're right. You're 100% right. And so the second time was when I was going back to Virginia. I was finally able to go see my grandmother's grave. Beforehand, when we did her funeral, I didn't want to be there for her actual burial. I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I've already cried enough. I can't do it. I physically cannot go over there right now and see this happen, because she was legitimately my world. Like, she was just so much to me. And when I finally got to go over there and see her, like, I was dreading actually walking up to her grave when I was going up there, because I was just like, what's gonna happen? What am I gonna feel? Am I gonna cry? And of course I cried. I'm about to cry right now. And but when I walked up there, it was like kind of like a wave of relief. And it wasn't like, you know, oh, thank goodness I'm finally here. It was more of like, I know that she's gone, but she's never gonna leave me, you know? And like, sorry. There are things that I really still want to share with her. Like, the other day, when I realized how much weight I lost, the very first thing I thought of was calling her and telling her, and I couldn't. And that's one thing that I never wish on anybody. If you have grandparents and you have a good relationship with them, even if you don't, like, try your best to mend that when you can. Like, we still had a great relationship, and I know this is taking a turn not where I wanted it to, but that's okay. I mean, we all expect this from me. But, this is something that I really need to say, because a lot of people take their grandparents for granted. And, you know, grandparents are there to not only love you unconditionally like your parents are, you know, they're there to help you through life when you can't always go to your parents. And that's who she was to me. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff I didn't get to tell her. Like, I didn't get to tell her when I graduated high school. I didn't get to call her when I got my first car. I didn't get to call her for all these things. And there's people that have gotten to do this, but instead of treasuring that moment, and I'm not saying everybody has, but there's a lot of people that do. But instead of treasuring that moment, they just kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, whatever. And to me, I mean, I have a high respect for everybody in my family, even ones that, you know, sometimes I don't agree with, but I never talk to people the way that some people talk to their grandparents. I think it's just awful. But, anyways, off that topic, it wouldn't be a CaseyQuesadilla video if I didn't cry a little bit. So anyways, with that being said, you know, that's another sign of, like, for me, divine intervention was, you know, something sweeping over me saying, you know, I know you're sad, I know you're scared, but you're not alone, you know, that kind of thing. And yesterday it happened, like, and for a minute I was gonna question it and not really do what that voice was telling me to do, but I listened to it, and I'm really glad that I did, because what happened was I was on my way home from work, because I had to go get supplies for our class that we're having there anyways, whatever. And so I was on my way back from work, and I was just like, it's on the way, and then I was just kind of like, but today's my day off, blah blah blah, and I was just like, so what is your day off? It's your day off a lot of times, you wind up doing other things anyways. So, on my way there, on my way home, I took a turn and I stopped at a CrossFit gym. And this CrossFit gym is legitimately, I think, what I've needed to help me get in shape for a long time. And instead of me, like, seeking something out because I was afraid of being, like, chastised for trying to better my life, or going to a gym and like being made fun of because I couldn't do what everybody else was doing. That's been a huge part of, like, me going to gyms. I've been so afraid of people just sitting there laughing at me. And not that I care about what people think, but when you're trying your absolute best and you see somebody just like having enjoyment at your expense, it's not a good feeling. And so I walked in, it didn't look like it was open, but the door was propped open, so I was just kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna walk in anyways. Hopefully no one, like, comes out and attacks me, which, it's just my mentality, like, it goes immediately to the worst case scenario that it could possibly be. And so, I walked in, and I didn't see anybody. It was just a big open space of nothing really, and I was just like, okay, this is weird. Because I expected, you know, like a legitimate kind of gym where it has like maybe like some workout equipment, like treadmills, ellipticals, things like that. That's what I was expecting. And I didn't see any of that, which I was just kind of like, okay, like, what do I do now? So I saw a hallway and I heard people talking, so I was like, there's someone here, I just need to find them. Like, don't just walk out, like, go in and try to find them. Because, you know, that the easy thing to do is just to go and say that you tried and then walk away. And my mind was just like, go and look. So I went through and I was able to find, like, there's a group of people, I think there was like 5 or 6 people there. One, you know, like there was, maybe it was 5. Anyways, a few of them had just, or they all had just gotten done working out, and doing a session. And so there's some over here, like, standing, and they're talking amongst themselves too, and they're just, you know, they're all looking at me, and they weren't, like, intimidating like I thought everybody was gonna be, because, you know, worst case scenario, I think of it. And, everybody, you know, he was just like, how can I help you? And I said, the person that said that is the owner of the gym. And I was just like, well, I have a couple of questions about classes and stuff here, and I was just wondering if I could ask a couple questions. And he was just like, yeah, sure, for sure. And so, you know, everybody that I saw that was like in close proximity to me, I was just like, hey, my name's Casey, and I introduced myself. And he introduced himself. His name is EJ. Oh my god, I almost said the wrong name. His name is EJ. And I was just like, cool, awesome. And so we started talking, and he was just kind of like, well, what exactly are you wanting to do? And I told him, you know, I've already lost this much weight on my own, and I wanted to continue down this path because I felt fantastic about myself for the last, like, week or so. Not even when I found out, like, that I had lost that much weight. It was just because I had been out there and I had been doing physical things to make sure I worked out a little bit. And so, we talked a lot. I filled out some paperwork because I was just like, well, send me whatever information you can if you don't mind. And he was just like, sure. So he sent me, you know, the contract for it. He sent me, like, what you're agreeing to when you sign up for CrossFit, things like that, and standard waivers saying that, you know, anything you decide to do while you're there, if you feel like you can't do it, or you're gonna wind up hurting yourself, you know, you don't have to do it. You could express concerns like that, things like that. But they're there to help you reach your potential. And that is something that I really think is really cool about CrossFit. But anyways, we sat there and we talked, and we talked about everything under the sun, because, you know, you get 2 people together that enjoy talking, and then you're just gonna have, like, people just sitting there jibber jabbering all day if you let them. And that's essentially what's happening today, or that day, yesterday. But the main thing that I wanted to say is that, you know, that voice in my mind, if it didn't tell me to stop, I wouldn't have stopped. And I mean, even if it did, sometimes, you know, like I said, I don't listen to that voice all the time. There are some times where I'm just like, well, you can stop this and go get this and go get that. And a lot of times it's like things that I don't really need to go do in that moment. And this one, I had never seen a whole lot of cars there, so I was just like, there's some there now, like, I need to go seize this opportunity. So that day I listened to the voice in the back of my head, and I'm really glad that I did, because this is something I honestly feel like I've needed from the get-go. And so I'm really excited to have this something that I'm hopefully going to be able to start within the next week or so. You know, he wasn't like super pushy about like coming in every single day, going hard every single day and things like that. He was just like, you know, take it as much as you need to at a time. But, you know, commitment is the most important thing when you're doing a workout, when you're trying to get to a certain goal with your fitness. And I was like, I get that. I completely agree. Cause like I've been there, and a couple of days, like before I hurt my back, cause I was trying to lift that tire outside. Before that, I was just out there and I was just kind of like convincing myself not to do it. And like I'd sit here in bed and I'm just like, okay, my alarm went off. My alarm goes off at 5:30 every morning because I have stuff I gotta do before I go to work. So I was just laying there after my alarm's gone off. I'm just like, I can just lay here for a little bit longer. And then like my other side of my brain is just like, get up and go do something. And I'm just kind of like, and I had to force myself to do it. And after I hurt myself, I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that right now. And I wound up working out some other way. It wasn't like, you know, me just not doing anything. I wound up doing something else instead of trying to push myself to do that and hurting myself worse. And so, but yeah, that's really it that I wanted to say. And I'm really excited to start this. I'm really excited to be where I'm at now. And that's pretty much it. And yeah, so if you guys want to follow that journey as well, because I undoubtedly will be putting stuff about it on my channel. They actually have a YouTube channel too, and I will link it below and put it in my description, and just, you know, let you guys go look at their videos. They do have videos of them doing the program and things like that. So if you guys want to, by all means, go check it out. Other than that, that's pretty much it. If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up. And even if you don't like me anyway, I'm just kidding. Please, I'm just joking. Please don't hit the like button unless you really do enjoy this video. I know I babble a lot. It's just who I am. So also, if you want to keep up with everything that I post, hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon. Then you'll be notified of every time I post a video. And that's pretty much it. Oh, also, the other part of this video, I'm trying to get better at doing end screens. Up here is going to be a picture of my face, so you can hit it if you would like to subscribe to my channel. Over here is going to be a video that I believe my last posted video about my PCOS journey, and then there's going to be a video right below it that is going to be picked out for you specifically by the algorithm of the YouTubes. So if you guys want to do that, just hit one of those boxes. If you don't, that's okay too. Anyways, I will see you guys later, and stay cheesy, my friends. Bye!